Hello, IT200. I wanted to take a moment and go through the syllabus that we'll be using this semester. IT200 Fundamentals of Information Technology. The course description: students will learn about the fundamental knowledge and skills required in the information technology IT field. While exploring the various roles and functions of IT professionals, students will engage with basic technologies, hardware, and software, and a systems thinking approach to solving problems. Course competencies. This course covers the following competencies, which represent the knowledge and skills relevant to your field. IT 20186. Articulate the roles and functions of the information technology professional. And IT 20187. Describe the technologies, hardware, and software used within the information technology field. And IDS 20252. Apply the process of systems thinking. We look at the AHIMA entry level competencies. You can review the American Health Information Management Association's HIM baccalaureate degree entry level curriculum competencies covered by clicking on the link there. The required materials we're going to be using are available from the SNHU online bookstore. You want to get them there. You want to get the Teach Plus Cert Master Learn from CompTIA. There's the SKU number that you're going to be using. You want to make sure you get it through the bookstore because that'll make sure that you get into the right course and linked to the right course that's going to be into my section, so that I'll be able to see your grades and they will be able to come over into the proper grade book. If you get it somewhere else, it won't be linked, and then the grades don't come over, and trying to get it linked otherwise is a whole headache that you don't want to get into. It is just not a fun situation, let me tell you. I've tried to help a student before, and it's been a real difficult process. This course uses the CompTIA Cert Master platform. Access the resource by clicking into any CompTIA assignment or resource link in your course and entering your class code, which you got from the bookstore, which you must purchase from, obviously, SNHU Online Bookstore. Technical requirements. Make sure you've met the technical requirements to complete the course. If we open these up, we can look at the technical requirements for them. For computer science, shows your Windows environment. For just regular information technology, I believe it's the same one. But a Windows 11 64-bit, 32 gigs of RAM. That's a pretty high 1 terabyte. That'll definitely get you plenty of without a problem, but that's what it's showing for information technology. You'll probably be able to access it with less, but that's what they have out there as showing for their minimum requirements. Diversity, equity, inclusion. As stated in our core values, SNHU is committed to embrace diversity, where we encourage and respect diverse identities, ideas, and perspectives by honoring difference, amplifying belonging, engaging civilly, and breaking down barriers to bring our missions to life. This may or will be reflected in SNHU's curriculum as we embrace and practice diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) to provide the most transformative experience for our students, faculty, and staff. Because topics pertaining to DEI can be sensitive, please remember that embodying and practicing diversity, equity, inclusion is one of our core values that you will encounter throughout the academic experience in higher education. We are expected to think and engage critically, use a growth mindset, and embrace the diverse readings, course assignments, and experience of your peers and faculty. For more information about DEI and SNHU, please visit the website of Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Instructor availability and response time. Your class interaction with your instructor and your classmates will take place on a regular ongoing basis. Your instructor will be actively engaged, within the course throughout the week. You will normally communicate with your instructor in the weekly discussions or the general questions discussion topic so that your questions and the instructor's answers benefit the entire class. So I just want to take a moment there. If you have any questions for the class or for something that is related to the class in general, go ahead and put it in that general questions discussion topic. That way I can answer it for you and I can answer it for everybody and everybody gets the benefit of it. If it is something of a more specific and personal nature, feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to email back. That's not something that needs to go there. That's something that can go just between you and me. That's perfectly fine. If in doubt, send it by email. I can always shoot out an email blast to everybody and sharing out information if I think it's something that needs to be sent out generically to everybody and leaving obviously your name off it if it's something that I think is information that needs to be sent out to everybody. So I'll make sure that information gets out there if it needs to be. If you don't want to put it in there. But otherwise, you can go ahead and use that general questions discussion topic, and I will see it. Sometimes I do not see it as quickly as I wish I should. Unfortunately, the link to getting those and getting emails that used to come directly to my phone do not any longer. The school security system and my day job security system have had a battle on my phone, and my day job has won. So I have to log in to webmail to check for emails. So if it doesn't happen immediately, it may take me a little bit of time, but I will see your questions via email or the discussion board within 24 hours and get back to you. You should feel free, however, to communicate with your instructor via SNHU email at any time, particularly when you want to discuss something of a personal or sensitive nature. As I said, your instructor will generally provide a response within 24 hours. Instructors will post grades and feedback as applicable within 7 days of assignment's due date or within 7 days of a late submission. So looking at what grades are going to be for this class, the discussion boards will make up 23% of your grade. Activities are 32%. Module quizzes make up 2%. Module lessons review make up 3%. Module labs make up 7%. Your Project 1 makes up 11%. Project 2 makes up 11%. And Project 3 make up 11%. That brings us a total of 1,000 points or 100%. Okay. This course may also contain some non-graded activities, which it does. The purpose of those non-graded activities is to assist you in mastering the learning outcomes in the graded activities. So there are some things that are non-graded that I do encourage you to take advantage of because those things will help you prepare for the graded items and give you some practice for doing those. So even though it's not graded, it doesn't mean don't do. Um, it is well worth doing them, even though you don't have to turn them in and get feedback on those. It's well worth doing them. Okay? SNHU is not a school that I have to grade on a curve for, which is wonderful, meaning that for everyone that turns in a work can get a credit. So I don't have to scale it down, which means that's wonderful. So whatever grade work you turn in is the grade work you will receive at the end. So you can be the first class or one of the first classes that I can give all A's to. So that would be wonderful. The grading guides, specific activity directions, grading guides, posting requirements, and additional deadlines can be found in the assignment information section of the course. So then it starts breaking down to our weekly assignment schedule, and I won't read all of these, but this breaks it down to what's happening in each week. It gives you your readings. It shows you what all is due. Okay. For week 1, I'll just talk about that to get us started. There is going to be reading in the Cert Master Learn Module 1, sections 1.1 through 1.3. You're going to have a discussion board on human-computer interaction. You're going to have a CompTIA module quiz at 1.5. You're going to have an accessing Visio, a non-graded activity. You're going to have an introduction to systems thinking activity. You're going to have 2 more non-graded activities, review your projects, to looking at what projects are coming up in the rest of the class. If you remember, there was project 1, 2, and 3, so it has you look ahead at those just to prepare for what's coming ahead. And then a CompTIA preparation non-graded assignment as well. So that'll be what rounds out your Module 1. Okay. Course participation is required within the first week of the term for all online courses. Participation in this context is defined as completing one graded assignment during the first week of the course. Otherwise, students will be administratively removed for non-participation. Students who do not participate during the first week may forfeit their rights to be reinstated into the course. Students who stop attending a course after the first week and who do not officially withdraw will receive a grade calculated based on all submitted and missed graded assignments for the course. Missed assignments will earn a grade of 0. See the course withdrawal policy and the course participation policy for further information. So if you participate in week 1, but then don't participate in anything else, then you have get the grade of everything of all the assignments that you missed. So, late assignments. Students who need extra time may submit assignments excluding discussion board postings. That's something that can't be done late. Up to 1 week after the assignment due date. Discussion board submissions will not be accepted for credit after the deadline, except in extenuating circumstances. That's something you need to talk to me about, and we would have to make arrangements for that if the circumstances warrant. Normally they don't, but there have been some that do. So we'll take that on a case-by-case basis. Penalty of 10% of the total value of the assignment will be applied to the grade achieved on the late assignment, regardless of the day of the week which the work is submitted. So even if it's 1 day late, it is 10% off. So if it was worth 20 points, 2 points will be deducted no matter what. If it was worth 200 points, 20 points would be automatically taken off the top. And that was no matter how many points you got on the assignment. So if you got full credit, you would get 180 left. If you didn't get full credit, and let's say you would have gotten 190 points out of the 200, it would be 190 minus the 20, which would give you 170. So that's just to give you an idea of how that math works. Students who submit assignments more than 1 week late will receive a grade of 0 on the assignment unless they have made prior arrangements with the instructor. So again, that comes down to letting the instructor know what's going on, and depending on their circumstance. So please, please, please let me know what's going on. If there's something that is causing hardship in your life, a circumstance that's beyond your control, let me know and we can work through that. Students must submit all assignments no later than 11:59 p.m. in your own time zone on the last day of the term. No assignments are accepted after the last day of the term unless an incomplete has been submitted. You can see the incomplete grades policy, and you have to work with the instructor to go through that process to get it incomplete. There may be times an instructor makes an exception to the late assignment policy. Instructors may accept late work, including discussion board posts, with or without prior arrangement. Exceptions to late policy on these grounds are left to the instructor's discretion, including whether the late penalty is applied or waived. Students should not assume they will be allowed to submit assignments after due dates. Again, you need to talk to me. We'll work through those and go through that process. If an instructor finds they are unable to determine whether an exception to the late policy would be appropriate without documentation, the collection and review of student documentation should be handled through the dispute resolution team in order to protect the student's privacy. In these cases, students should file a student concern dispute form to have the circumstance reviewed. I do not need to see medical records or any sort of things like that. That is your private health information. I don't need to see that. If it turns into be something like that, that's what that form and that group is there for. If a student is experiencing or knows they will experience a circumstance including pregnancy that is protected under the Americans with Disability Act or Title IX, they are encouraged to contact the Online Accessibility Center, OAC, as soon as possible to explore what academic accommodations might be offered. Instructors must honor all deadlines established through the OAC. Talks about the student handbook. You can get the link to the student handbook. ADA or 504 compliance. And it talks about that. If that's something that applies to you and you want to take advantage of that, you can go ahead. Academic integrity policy. Southern New Hampshire University requires all students to adhere to high standards of integrity in their academic work. Activities such as plagiarism and cheating are not condoned by the university. Review the full academic integrity policy. Look at that. And it really goes into the artificial AI use guidelines. I want to stress this. We recognize there are a variety of generative AI programs available to assist in your work. Generative AI programs are not a replacement for human creativity, originality, or critical thinking. However, within limited circumstances and with proper citation, generative AI may be used as a tool in this course. So, you can use it as a tool to help you. You cannot use it as a tool to do the work for you. So that's a big difference. So I suggest if you want to use generative AI, look at this guide, the student guide to generative AI. It'll go into much more depth as to how to use it properly. Using it to help reform sentences, help fix sentence structure, something like that is a lot different than when you're asked to write a paper and you give it the prompt and tell it to write the paper for you. Okay? I'll leave it at that. Copyright policy. Southern New Hampshire abides by the provisions of the United States Copyright Act. Any person who infringes on the copyright law is liable. Okay? Open use of educational media and use of artificial intelligence AI to generate content. This course may contain some material created with the help of AI tools. Any AI generated content has been thoroughly vetted by a team of instructional designers, editors, subject matter experts, and deans. Revisions have been made to ensure accuracy and clarity. Whew. And the withdrawal policy. I think that pretty much covers everything in the syllabus, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to discuss anything, and I look forward to this upcoming semester with you. Thank you, and if you have any questions, k.herbst@snhu.edu. Thank you.